On now? Perfect. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm joined here today from WISE with my, God, I'm butchering this. Yeah. I'm here joined with my technical product manager, Tao, and Carlo from Exnor, who is their engineering manager, to do an AMA today on our newest feature.
Hello. Hello, everyone.
Getting lots of hellos from the live stream. Hello.
Great.
Hello.
You want to start? Yeah.
Yep. So we have a couple of questions already who've been sent in to us. One of the first ones we want to talk about is, what is person detection?
Sure. So I can start if you
Go
don't
ahead.
mind.
Yeah.
So person detection is the concept of analyzing the images of a video to detect salient aspects of the image. Let's say a person from instead of having just a dumb motion detector, we can actually identify features of a person. So in this regard, imagine one of the biggest issues that WISE users have experienced is the idea of notification fatigue. When you have leaves blowing in the background, it triggers the motion detection. With person detection, it actually learns to ignore motion settings.
It seems like there is some lagging issue there.
Oh.
Hope it is better. Buffering. Okay, we're switching network. Hopefully the connection is better. Broke again. Didn't.
All right. Maybe we should restart the question, Brandon.
Yeah. So our first question was, what is person detection?
All right. So person detection is this idea that we're using and leveraging an AI algorithm to detect salient aspects of a video. So one of the biggest issues that WISE users have experienced is the idea of notification fatigue, where users receive lots of notifications every day. When a leaf blows in the wind, or when there are bugs or insects in this stream, the motion sensor triggers and causes a unnecessary notification. With the advent of person detection, we basically eliminate most of these extraneous notifications, where only the most salient aspects of an image or video clip is sent to the users. So let's say, for instance, Tao is walking down the street, and a WISE cam detects his body. This is then triggered and sent to the user because there's aspects of the image that contains a person's body, perhaps hands, a face. We can intelligently identify features of a person using the person detection algorithm.
Great, thank you.
One of the other questions we also had was, how does WISE's person detection work?
Okay, so I'll take this question, and then it actually, you have, for those of you who have V2, WISECam V2 and PEN, you actually have the feature in your hands already. Yeah. So you can, you're just one update away. If you haven't done it, you can update your app and also the firmware, and then after that, you can go to account, WISE service, and then you can enable person detection. There are three things that three features we added. One is that you can do person detection during your video, for video analysis. The second one is that you can do notification. Yeah. So it's like so in the past, you get all notifications for every motion triggered. Yeah. And then for right now, it's like after you enable the service, enable the feature, and then you will get you can get notification just for person. It's like events, which is much more convenient. And then thirdly, you can when you go to the event view, you can filter by person, yeah, if you want. And that's the basically the feature.
We also got a question from David on the YouTube. Does person detection work at night too, or does it need daylight? When I set it to automatic, it is too dark at night, and I have to set it as, so I wonder if this feature will work.
It's a great question, David. So the AI algorithm is actually trained for both daytime and nighttime scenarios. However, we are aware that daytime works much better than the nighttime settings. One of the biggest issues is we need more good customer data that describes the nighttime use case. Any other?
I think that's it.
There's also a second question that kind of runs into that is there a minimum height before the image gets detected as a person? Namely, what happens if a younger child walks by?
Excellent question. So regardless if it's a full-grown adult or a baby or a child, we train our machine learning models to detect different types of characteristics of people. Now, for your original question on the height, we're actually going to release a FAQ detailing the best practices for deploying your person detection WiseCam such that you can maximize your accuracy. To the original question, we recommend at least head height. Basically, imagine you're a person and you're basically placing yourself relative to the scene. There are other features that maximize the accuracy of the person detector, such as make sure that it captures an area that will ensure that if people are lingering, we're able to capitalize and sample more in the video clip. So later on today, if not already, we should be releasing an FAQ detailing the best practices and what to do and what not to do.
That is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
We got a question from a Google user. If I move the cardboard cutout of a person across the camera, will the WiseCam see it as a person, or does the AI training look for range of motion?
That's a great question. So it's hard to tell definitively if it's yes or no, but as long as there's features of a person in the field of view of the camera, it may likely trigger the algorithm. However, if this is a persistent, I'm sure it's not a very common case to experience cardboard cutouts in the wild. So,
all right. One of the other questions we got was, how will the service differ from AI solutions with other companies?
Great question. So Xnord AI is a pioneer in machine learning solutions for the edge. Our founders, Ali Farhadi and Mohamed Rastegari, basically architected a new way of doing the computation within a deep neural network. One primary piece of software that differentiates us is our Xnorization software. The idea that we can run these relatively expensive deep learning workloads from data centers all the way to edge devices. One of the reasons why we're able to do this with Wise is we specialize in performance optimization for these platforms. So it's a combination of both algorithmic know-how and computer systems and computer architecture specializations that we have at Xnor. In concert with these two, we're able to bring a solution to market, as you guys see here.
How do you know the difference between V1 and V2 if you have V1 versus V2?
Okay, so I'll take this question. The question is, what's the difference between V1 and V2? And then right now, the person detection only supports WiseCam V2 and PAN. Unfortunately, we will not be able to support for V1 because of hardware limitation. Yeah. We worked really hard, but in the end, we found out that V1 has some physical limitations that we could not reach the same performance. So we decided to support V2 and PAN. So how do I know? So how do I know if there's a V1 or V2? So if you go to your camera settings, and then you can go to the device info, and then you can check whether there's a WiseCam or WiseCam V2. So if you see it's a WiseCam V2, it is a V2. And then also on the back of the camera, and then there's a Wise C1 and Wise C2. C1 is a V1, and then C2 is a V2. The bottom of the camera, sorry.
And then, how does the AI improve? Will we be able to improve it on the app by clicking something that says not a person or this was a person?
Absolutely. So with the public firmware and the recently updated app, Wise users will be able to opt in to improving the AI algorithms. So the really important part here is we need both positive and negative examples. A positive example is where there's a person in the clip, and you basically say, hey Wise, there's a person here, and it tags and labels this for our training AI algorithm. Equally important are negative examples. Let's say there was flies or insects or pets, maybe a race car in the field of view of the camera. It's equally important to tag these as negative examples because the AI algorithm learns to ignore these non-human features of the image.
So here, I really would like to thank all the volunteer beta users who have submitted your videos voluntarily. And then, so with your help, actually, we improved our algorithm accuracy a lot. And then we don't know who you are, but we would like to thank you for all your help.
Thank you so much.
All right, I've got another question. Can a Wise customer provide feedback on notifications to train the system and improve customer accuracy?
Can you say it again?
Can they provide feedback on notifications to help train the system and improve or customize the accuracy of it?
Well, definitely the feedback will help. Yeah, and so we already all the feedback, gather all the feedback and then categorize them and then also put them in training, both for training and notification. Yeah.
And then one of the other questions we got. Are there plans to enable person detection on the RTSP version of the firmware?
Ooh, that's a big question. So right now, RTSP and person detection are separate. Yeah. The reason is there is a lot of, so we already have a lot of things running on our camera, and then having RTSP running together has put a lot more pressure on the CPU and memory. And right now, we do not have them combined together, and then we will look for it, but right now we cannot promise to have them together just because of physical limitation.
And then does the 5-minute cooldown for notifications still apply even with person detection?
So I'll take this question if you don't mind.
Yeah.
So the 5-minute cooldown right now, it also applies for person detection. And then what we have changed, so I'll explain a little bit more about the feature, and then what we haven't changed was the triggering mechanism. So once you have a motion, and then you will still be triggered. Let's say a fly comes by, yeah, and then it's like you will still be triggered, and then we will do a video analysis. It's like for the 12-second video, and then there will be a 5-minute cooldown. So that has not been changed. In the future, actually, we will see how we can improve the feature for the better user experience.
All right, and then. Can the person detection be used to trigger a routine, for example, if they used it with the bulb?
That will be considered in the future. And then we have got questions about routines for bulb and then also for sensor-related videos. Right now, for today's, we only do for motion-triggered videos. And then in the future, we will consider that for future videos. Yeah, but that hasn't decided which will be included, which may not be. Yeah.
Can you walk people through how to enable it or demo it on the app?
Sure. Yeah. So just give me 1 second. I'm going to turn on my. Okay, there we go. Thank you. So here is. Oops, I got to see it. Yeah. Okay, this is challenging. I also don't know how much it's like the camera can view with this white background. So what I do is I go to my account, and then there will be services, and then go to the Wise service. And then right now I'm trying to see, okay, it's with a better result. And then there is a person detection, and then I can see a few cameras at all the cameras I have for V2 and Pen. And then for some of them, like they can be enabled because of, oops, okay. For some of them, they can be enabled, yeah, because they are V2 and Pen. And then for some of them, like they may not be, yeah. And then, for example, it's like the the desk camera, it shows up as a firmware upgrade needed. So if I try to enable, I can do enable, and then I'll pop up to enable, try upgrade. So I can click and then try to upgrade the firmware, and then I can enable. Right now, I'm not going to, I would not go through the process because it takes a few minutes. I would rather answer more questions for these. And this is how to enable the service. Yeah. And also, after enable the camera, you can also set up the notifications to get notified just for person events or for all kinds of events. You can get person or all motion events.
And then the next question we got is, as Wise Services is a new account section and it's listed as free, can you comment on future services? Or if that's not top secret, can you comment on plans to at least add future services?
Yes, yeah, and then I'll take this question. Yeah, so for services, this is our first service, and then we're going to add more services. And then that's why I will introduce the concept of service in this release as well. And then because in the future, we may have, say, face detection, and then pet detection, and also more storage options. And then for those services, some of them will be free, some of them will may be paid. Yeah. So that's the plan for Wise.
And then will I be able to tell IFTTT only to process triggers based on seeing humans?
So that is on our plan. And then so we haven't got a chance to get all the third-party notifications, all the third-party integrations for these features. And then that is our plan to add more experience for these, for IFTTT. And also, we also, by the way, so in our shortcut or in our Wise shortcut, we already support when a person is detected, and then we can perform a special actions like when that one is triggered.
And then, does motion sensitivity affect person detection?
I'll take it. Yeah. So motion sensitivity is right now it is only affecting the trigger. Yeah. So if you make it really sensitive, and then so a fly comes by, and then it will be triggered. And then but it does not affect the accuracy rate and the analysis like with the person detection. And in the future, actually, we have discussed about it, and then Carlo reminded me many times for this. And then we're thinking about, so there is one possibility that we can have different kind of sensitivity for motion detection. And then maybe Carlo can explain it a bit more.
Yeah, so right now, if you toggle the sensitivity in the motion sensor, it only affects the motion sensor. The person detection algorithm has a different sensitivity that's fixed to work in a variety of sensors. As Tao mentions, we are considering releasing a knob for users to change the sensitivity of both motion and person detector. So you have more of a fine-grained approach to person detection, because some scenarios maybe you really care about catching everything, including false positives, but some people may not want to be bothered, so they're going to crank up the person detection threshold so they get less notifications.
And then if a person is walking behind a fence, for example, will it recognize a person? And to that point, does the camera orientation matter? Great
question. So occlusion is a very difficult problem in computer vision in general. However, we've designed the person detection algorithm to be able to discriminate between different poses of people, including and excluding occlusion. So a very common use case for us is people going back and forth between flagpoles. The algorithm, obviously the ideal situation is where a person is not behind that flagpole, but we're making our machine learning algorithms more robust to these unorthodox scenarios.
What is the difference between an AI algorithm and a non-AI algorithm?
I can take this.
I'll let you take it. Yeah.
Good question. So one way to motivate this is the motion detector algorithm. It's a traditional computer vision-based algorithm which compares pixel-based differences. So given two images, calculate the difference, and if it hits a threshold, ring the motion alarm. with an AI algorithm, it's way more complicated than that. How it works is we teach an AI model basically what it means to be a person. So we show the AI model, hey, this is Susie. Make sure that when you see a picture of Susie to ring person. If you see a picture of a bug or this dog, we want you to ignore these features, image features. The technology that powers this is something called deep neural networks, and DNNs are able to discriminate really well the features that we want it to learn. So when we show hundreds of thousands, if not millions of images of people and non-people, it learns to identify, oh, this is Tao, this is a person, or oh, this is a mosquito, this is not a person. And over many, many iterations called epochs, we just teach the model that, hey, this is a person and this is not a person.
On top of that, we had another question: is should we expect to see some sort of trusted person or recognized person feature coming?
For you?
I think that's definitely one thing we're considering. Yeah, and then so it's like I think today is our first step. It reached a huge milestone for us, yeah, because we start to have brain. Yeah, and then in the past it's like we're doing it's like pixel and right now we have the image of a person or an unfamiliar person. Yeah. That's for sure in the past.
Does person detection still work just as well when the WISE campaign is moving or panning?
I can answer this if you
Go
don't
ahead.
mind. So yes, the way that we extract frames, we take into account the motion blur. So we have plenty of examples in our data set that have really blurry images. It doesn't matter if the pan is panning or if a person is walking really fast in the camera's field of view, we can capture and still identify that this is a person, maybe a blurry person, but still a person nonetheless.
Great work.
Yeah, thanks.
What are some of the challenges of implementing the AI solution on the WISE cam?
Ooh, lots,
Okay.
lots.
We can start probably for an hour for this. Yeah, if you guys want to hear it. Yeah.
You know,
ahead.
it's funny. When we first visited WISE office, I remember it was kind of like a pipe dream because a lot of these algorithms live in the data center. In fact, like a prototype of this for a lot of home security companies are in the data center. When we told WISE that we can do this on the edge, they couldn't believe it. So we actually built an MVP, a basic prototype to demonstrate that it's possible to do this on the WISE cam. There's a whole host of issues. Chief amongst them is how do we get the most performance out of this platform? How do we make sure that we leave enough CPU cycles for WISE's other services? So inside a WISE cam, at any given time, there's video encoding, there's image uploading, there's a notification service. There's lots of other processes that are running. And making it fit in concert with an AI algorithm is super challenging. Luckily, we have performance experts within XNOR who specialize in this. I want to give out a shout out to some of our performance engineers, Frank Sun, who's been helping and instrumental in building the end-to-end solution. I remember, to give you guys an idea of the scale of this problem, Frank, in concert with Tao and Fengbo from WISE, they would work tirelessly, including the weekends, to build the prototype many months ago. It's a joint effort between machine learning and our performance engineering teams.
Okay, I think it's like that's a lot. And also on our side, our little camera already, as Carlo mentioned, and actually you know our camera pretty well right now. I was going to say, yeah. So it's already running a lot of things simultaneously, and then to add another heavy task. AI is definitely a CPU intensive task for the camera. And then I was thinking about, okay, what are the challenges? And then first thing is like, I think it's like is to put the algorithm on top of the camera. Put the algorithm onto the camera because our memory and also the flash is very limited. Yeah. And then just putting the algorithm code onto it is a challenge. It took us weeks. Yeah.
Yes.
People may say, okay, that's just like, okay, install it and it's good. But when you have 500 gigabyte of hard drive, it's not a problem. But right now, it's like with our camera, it is actually a big challenge. But we made it. Yeah.
Yeah, we made it.
And then the second big challenge is to just run it just like, and then also let other features work at the same time. And then it's like on the Y side, our engineers actually walked us through it's like the processes and then threads many times just to squeeze out every room to leave for AI. Yeah, because you guys definitely need a CPU to run it, and then we want to make sure you have the resource, but other tasks need to work as well. So we did many times, and then there were lots of costs. It's like between us and XNOR, we talk about the performance, how to improve it, and then those times were pretty memorable.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah. And one other thing I want to mention is this is just the first version of the product. There's going to be a lot of improvements coming over time. As we learn more and work with the WISE beta user community, we'll be able to hone in and really make this solution work for a variety of use cases. So looking forward to further refining and iterating on the current person detection algorithm.
All right, so we got a good question. Will this change the privacy of my videos or affect my privacy in any way?
I'll let you take.
So it will not. The short answer is it will not, because this is the beauty of edge computing. Yeah. So all the algorithms were pre-trained with some data, but not for yours at all. Yeah. So it's like all the model and all the algorithm. Yeah. And then will be running locally on your machine, and then only the results get to sent to the cloud. And then so when there's an event happening, and then so your camera will do like a video analysis, and then to say this has a person, this doesn't have a person, and only there is a yes or no answer to the cloud.
And then can you tell us a little bit about why this is such a big update?
Well, as I said, it's like WISE cameras got brain, yeah, which is really big. And then this is our first AI feature, yeah. And then so it's like I think this is a huge milestone, and also fitting AI algorithm on a camera, on a $20 camera, is unheard of. Yeah.
Someone said they're getting over 70 notifications a day with winged shadows. They said this new feature won't help at all in that department, right?
Well, you will not. You don't need. So for the 70 notifications that you have, and if you turn on the person notification only, you will not get notifications. So you only get the person-related notifications.
Have you done person training on someone sitting or moving in a wheelchair with this?
Great question. We do, but not as much as the traditional use cases like front porch, people around front porches. But we do have a subset of our data set that contains people in wheelchairs.
Can you elaborate on edge versus cloud?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes. So the difference between cloud and edge AI, you can think of it in terms of where the computation is happening. In the edge, what happens is WISE provides a model to our customers, an AI model. And whenever the camera captures an image or a video, it runs the computation locally on the device. In cloud computing, cloud AI, the model lives in a data center somewhere, probably geographically distributed. And the problem there is you have to upload the image or video clip to the data center, and then the data center does the AI inferencing on the cloud. So it's a matter of where the data is. The great thing about edge AI is you retain your privacy. None of the videos or images have to go out from your internet connection to the data center. It stays all on your device.
And then does it matter for the angle of the camera when it's trying to detect?
Great question.
I'll let you answer that. Yeah.
Great question. I think so. The FAQ that we're going to be pushing out will provide the best practices for camera angle. I personally recommend at least 6 feet peering down, and as long as it's up, the camera is upright. That's really what's most important. It's okay if there's a little bit tilted, but try to make sure that it's as upright as possible.
Yeah, I think in our second result, and then we did see that some 90-degree angle camera, they have a little bit less accuracy comparing to the upright ones. Yeah, and then also if it is a case that you really care, we would recommend you to share more videos with us, so we have more data, so we can train that model to make it more fit into your situation.
And then can the AI formula be updated via firmware updates down the road?
I'll let you.
Yes, yeah. Actually, this is a great topic that we'd like to discuss. Yeah, and then you can just download your firmware. So first, it's like you have to download your firmware to the latest firmware to get the AI model. Yeah, and then we also have the capability of releasing the AI model without changing your firmware. Yeah, so this has been experimented and this has been worked during our beta testing. So we're super excited for it. Yeah.
And then, does the RTSP firmware currently have this?
Right now, the RTSP firmware does not have the person detection. And then also for those of you who have RTSP firmware, if you want to have person detection, you have to manually flash your firmware and then back to the normal firmware and then have the person detection feature.
Does the person detection tag all the ghosts of the people capture on their Wise cams?
Sure.
It probably not.
So it's a more complex question that was asked. It's about whether or not you can say only record when someone has been detected versus tagging if the person's been.
So I'll take this answer. Yeah. So right now, as I mentioned in the past, and then we did not change the trigger mechanism. So if you have the trees like waving on the back, and then you will still get, as long as you turn on the motion detection, you will still have them. So you do not have an option right now to have person-only notifications or person-only events. And then in the future, we are exploring how to modify our features to do that. Yeah, but that's not in the current version yet.
Have you guys already spoken to the relationship between XNOR and like why we went with XNOR?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, just start.
Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about our partnership, yeah. And then I think back in last year, and then November time, that we had our first discussion, yeah. And then we were at the very beginning, it's like we were bothered by so many notifications we got from our cameras, yeah. We really want to have a solution because it is something that keeps me awake at night, yeah, just to say, okay, this is not a good enough experience for our customers. And then we really need a solution, yeah. And then we tried a few, improvements for, say, detection zone, and then schedule, and then also other tries, but it is not a full solution. I think. So then we found out XNOR.ai, and then we were really excited when they showed us the demo, because everybody said, okay, they can do, but XNOR is the one who could get it implemented.
I remember vividly when we were eating lunch at the Allen Institute for Artificial Intelligence. It was a small team of XNOR, about 10 people back in the day, and we saw one of Dave Crosby's marketing videos in Wise, and we were just blown away by the value added of a 1080p camera for $20. So we started looking at the reels, and we were curious actually, because such a price point is unheard of in this industry. One of our engineers was so taken aback by the Wise culture and messaging that he went home, purchased a Wise Cam, and actually started tinkering with it. From that process, we learned that it was more than capable of running an edge AI algorithm. It's funny how timing works. In parallel to this engineer working on the first prototype, our CEO was contacted by Wise's CEO via LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And our CEO goes to me saying, hey, Carlo, do you know about these Wise people? And me and another engineering manager, head of hardware engineering, were like super stoked because we have been comparing our WiseCam video feeds in the office. So from there, we started diving into a business relationship and how we can incorporate our edge AI technology into the Wise ecosystem. And over the course of, I think I remember in Thanksgiving, I remember working on this project, giving a pitch to our executive team, including Sophie, saying, "Hey, I think we should do this. Here's the roadmap that I'd like to pursue." And our executive team is very flexible and very supportive of initiatives like this. And we were excited to see that surprisingly, it was actually on time, which never usually happens.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, great job.
But yeah, so the short story is, I think it was both companies were enthralled of the capabilities of the other, and we figured since Wise is down the street, we're 5 miles away from you guys. This would be a very fruitful and worthwhile partnership.
Yep. And then we worked together for 6 models. Yeah, for six models and 6 rounds of algorithm improvements, starting from V1 and then to V6, and then there were lots of meetings that between us. Yeah. Right.
Are you guys still receiving video feedback? And if so, can people still participate, and how do they participate?
Yes, definitely. We're still receiving feedback, and then both in the beta app and also the official app, there is a place. It's like when you are viewing the videos in the event page, yeah, and then you can view it when you are viewing the video. There is a share button, and then you can share your feedback to us, and also you can share a video to us. When it's like this is voluntarily, and also we will only collect the ones that you sent to us explicitly. Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more in terms of security? Is the AI person detection closed within your home, or is the person data uploaded to some global server?
So I think.
Okay. Yeah. So security is the same as this feature before this feature. Yeah. Because the only thing we added is to analyze the video after event happens, and then all the analysis happens locally. So it's like in the past, like you do have the videos upload to the Amazon server, yeah, for the videos, and then if you have that feature turned on, and then the videos will be turned on, yeah, and it will be sent to AWS server. But it's like we do not add any extra security risk or privacy risk from this feature.
You guys talked about how often it will improve accuracy. Like it only gets better, but how often does it actually get better?
That's a good question.
I guess we haven't decided on the cadence of updates, but we plan on doing it relatively frequently over the next year.
Yep.
And then, how do you have a way, or is there going to be a way to limit the recordings based on people detection?
Limit the recording, yeah. And then right now we do not, and because this is right now we have the 12 second, the same as a 12-second video for 5 minutes of cooldown, and that is the only limitation right now. And then we do not limit the number of person detections we have.
And then, have you started discussing the possibility of excluding events shorter than X seconds? It would help eliminate some notifications of bugs passing in front of the camera.
I think that's a good question. We have discussed about it. And then, for example, if there's one flash for less than 1 second, and then likely it may not be events that person are interested. Yeah. And then we are talking about it, and also we would need to have more of the data, and especially the submitted data, to make sure it is not desired for most of the customers. And then we would thinking about excluding that.
Jonathan asked, waffles or pancakes?
Whoa.
Hard question. I'm a waffles kind of guy. What about you?
I'm a pancake. Yeah.
No,
Okay.
nice.
There we go. Yeah. We split well. Yeah.
Have you tested this for Halloween or with people in masks?
Oh.
Yes. If you don't mind,
Go ahead. Yeah.
I love this. So there, yes, actually, surprisingly, yes. There is a very interesting Wise beta user who's been using masks during his clips. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but yes, we have images of people with masks, and we're going to detect them as people as well.
How was the result? Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Good.
It was pretty good. It took us aback when we first saw it. It's like, what's happening here?
Mm-hmm.
Do you encrypt the videos heading to the AWS server in transit, and then do you encrypt the rest of the videos as well?
So we did encryption. So the the channel is encrypted. The video is not encrypted. Yeah. So we have the channel encrypted, and then it's like we have sent to AWS, and then we store it securely on our server. Yeah. And then that's the story. Yeah.
What processor does the AI run on, if you can explain?
Processor?
Yeah.
It's an Nginx T20 processor. Yeah.
Running out of questions. But
Is there any cohesion with the sensors from the sense kit and person detection?
Say it again.
Is there any cohesion with the sensors from the sense kit
Uh-huh.
and the person detection, or are they only event videos triggered by the camera?
So I think there's one person asked this question already. Yeah, and then so right now we only analyze the videos generated by the camera. Yeah, that means triggered by the camera by motion events. And then in the future we will consider expanding the person detection algorithm to the sensor related or others. Yeah,
How
like
about-
routines. Yeah.
I'm not sure if we've talked about accuracy yet, but any thought on accuracy and just accuracy like industry-wide?
I think it's the first of its kind in terms of accuracy. To the best of our knowledge, we are not aware of any edge AI solutions that can provide the accuracy that we're providing to WISE users today. Over time, as we improve and increase the volume of data that we receive from our WISE beta users, it will get better, absolutely.
And are the videos that are uploaded for training reviewed manually, or is it done automatically?
They are reviewed manually, and they are encrypted at rest inside a XNOR server in Seattle, Washington, of course.
What should someone do if they have a video but it fails to recognize someone?
Great question. So if in that case, they should tag the video as person, and in our next batch of training jobs, we will basically use that as an example of a person that a clip that should have been tagged as person, but it was not.
Can we delete the video once we share it with you by saying if there's a person or not?
Sorry, say it again.
Can we delete the video once we share it with you? Once we say if there's a person or not?
So so right now, so once you submit it, and it goes to the pool, and then we do not know who submitted the video. Yeah, so this is all anonymous. Yeah, and then so once you submit it, you cannot delete it. Yeah, you can delete your copy, but there will still be a copy at WISE. Yeah.
If there was an escaped gorilla from the local zoo and it rampaged through my neighborhood, would it see it as a person?
Ooh. Okay.
No. There's since if we ever train an AI algorithm for gorillas or pets in general, yes, but for person, it should not.
How about the question about, do I need to have an SD card installed for it to work?
You don't need an SD card for this feature.
Are the user, the WISE owner, that is part of the training for the AI, or is it fully automatic? Do they have to submit videos, or is there other ways that you're getting them?
They definitely need to submit videos in order to opt into the model refinements. But it's it's voluntary. They don't have to do it if they're not comfortable with sharing.
Yeah, we're not going to take anybody's video until it is explicitly we have explicit consent from the customer by share. Yeah, and then so it's like the person knows, okay, I send this video to WISE, yeah, for algorithm improvements. And then it's like if you don't feel comfortable, definitely it's like it is your choice. We'll definitely respect your choice.
For Tao, are there any plans to have continuous recording to the cloud?
Yes, yeah, we are definitely considering about it, and then it is one of the popularly requested features from our customers, and all I can say is we are seriously thinking about it.
Does the WISE campaign have variable rotation speeds to follow slow-moving objects without jumping at wide angles?
So the WiseCam pen does have different speed for its motor. You can set for different levels, yeah, and then it can rotate really fast or slow. But when it does tracking, so this is all for manual control. So if you can set it to really slow, so you can have really finite angle change. And then if you have really fast, and then you probably have a really fast movement. And then but for tracking, actually, we're using our own. We're using a preset speed because like we want to make sure we cover all the scenarios. And most time the motor will be faster to make sure it tracks all the moving objects.
Do you have any plans for producing dash cams for vehicles currently?
Wow, okay, that is definitely something that's like our customers is like request popularly. Yeah, we will consider about it. Yeah, and then right now we don't have anything online yet.
And then, will RTSP lead to multicam viewing?
RTSP can support multicam view. Yeah, so because RTSP is, well, it's actually two separate features. Yeah, it depends on how you use it. Because RTSP supports the camera to provide video stream for any RTSP client. And then we also have a multicam view, yeah, in our app, which can view multiple cameras at the same time. And then if you have an application, let's say on a laptop and on a PC, and then you have a multicam view application, you can set up RTSP connection to our camera, and then set up the multi-screen view.
How about motion detection zones?
For motion detection zone for?
Yeah, if you set a motion detection zone, will it send you a notification if someone is not in the zone?
So motion detection zone. So the question is about how motion detection zone works with person detection. Yeah. And then motion detection zone will affect the trigger of the video. So if you have a motion detection, let's say you set your zone to only the top left part of your camera. So only any motion happens within the zone will trigger an event. But once the event is triggered, we're going to analyze the whole video frame, and then to analyze if there's a person or not.
Will there ever be a web interface for the WiseCam?
So this is definitely a popularly requested feature, yeah. And then right now we don't, and then we will consider about it, yeah. But right now we don't have any firm commitment for this.
And then, can RTSP and AI detection coexist on two different cameras on the same app? Can you have the firmware?
Two different cameras or one camera?
One camera.
So right now they cannot. RTSP and person detection are separate. Yeah. So you either have RTSP or person detection.
But if there was two separate cameras, I think.
If there are two separate cameras, that's totally fine. So one camera can do RTSP, the other person can do camera. Can do person detection.
Do you have plans to support OVIF to allow WiseCams to be integrated into a broader framework for monitoring?
So we don't have the plan for now. Yeah, for OVIF, we have customers requesting for it. Yeah, but right now our most focus is like all the so we want to work on the most popular features requested first. Yeah, and OVIF so far is not on our plan. Actually, I have a question for Carlo. Yeah. Sure. So for training, we have done 6 rounds of training. Yeah. And then how hard is it for training each time?
Yeah. So it's certainly a very long process. Typically, what we do is we take all of our labeled data and we run a training algorithm onto this data set. Each model, for every time we turn the crank for producing a version of a new model, we actually train hundreds of different models with different settings. Only the best models are kept and the rest are discarded. The time it takes to train a model these days with the volume of data that we have, takes about 10 to 14 days.
Wow.
So it's run on a massively large server room,
Mhm.
and then once it's done, we send you guys the those very small models that you get from us.
So after you get the 20 top selected models, do you guys analyze each of them and then to
Yes.
choose the
So
best one?
we have an analytical framework that determines which model performs best.
Mhm.
We usually use a subset of the voluntary opt-in WISE user videos. Based on the performance of these top 20 models on these videos, we then wean them off to the top 1 or 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then we do manual validation into the model just to make sure that everything seems right. We didn't regress too much. Moving forward, we are gonna provide you guys more, basically, scenarios at which it shines and scenarios that it needs more improvement, so that we can work together to work with the WISE beta users as well to reconcile any scenarios that it doesn't perform too well.
Nice. Looking forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll send you more videos.
I've been actually spamming myself. So.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Is animal or vehicle detection something that's in the works?
That's a great question. We can do it. It's up to this guy.
Okay. Yeah. So we say we'll do it. Okay. And then up to this guy to do to provide a good model. Yeah.
As long as there's good data to support a new object category, pets, vehicles, packages, it is definitely within our wheelhouse to enable.
Yeah. I think it's like sorry. Yeah.
I was gonna say a follow-up question to that came through. Will you have a custom motion detection algorithm designed to spot boxes being removed from porches?
Oh, I was going to talk about it. Yeah.
Porch pirates.
Yeah. So definitely we have a few popular requests regarding to AI and then regarding to person detection or any kind of object detection. So pets are one, vehicles are another one, and then also boxes, both for regular dropping off packages or it's like porch pirates. Yeah. And those are the very popular ones that we people want to add to their experience. Yeah. And then we'll be really happy to explore each of them and then see how to get them available for our customers.
Can the AI model be trained to recognize specific people? Example, Domino delivery person at the door, so I know to answer and ignore everybody else.
Yes. The short answer is yes. I think it's more of a product question at this point. The technology is definitely there to do interesting things like facial recognition, identification, delivery person, UPS store trucks. It's just a matter of prioritization. Every new feature that's proposed, a lot of work and effort goes into the WISE team to bring this to market. So the answer from an engineering point of view is yes, but it's more of a product question, and I'll defer to Watt to.
So you just keep throwing the ball to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, good job.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you guys answered this yet. Can you tune the sensitivity of person?
Yeah, we have answered that question for sensitivity. Right now, you cannot tune the sensitivity for person detection. And then this is one thing that we have discussed multiple times about possibly allowing tuning the person detection sensitivity in the future.
Are there any of Dave Crosby's tracks hidden in the app as Easter eggs?
Okay, we got to ask Dave Crosby that. Yeah. Okay.
Is it technically possible for the WiseSense motion sensor to detect a person?
So motion sensor will not detect a person, yeah, because it is based on passive infrared technology. It would not detect. It would not have the brain to recognize it's a person or non-person. Yeah, but we do if we because as most of the user know that we can have motion sensor related to automatically generates a video from our camera if you pair up a motion sensor and a camera, and then we can analyze that video to decide whether it has a person or not in it. Yeah.
Any plans for real-time video scrubbing? This will greatly assist us in quickly locating a specific activity.
I want to understand the question a little bit more. Yeah. Real time is more about so you're talking about scrubbing for the past videos, right? Yeah. So it is something that we are considering. Yeah. Right now, it's like we are it is another playback is another area that our customers want to improve. Yeah, we definitely hear you, and then we're actively looking at possibilities of how to improve it. Yeah.
And then I know this is already asked, but any ETA on the WiseCam Saran?
WiseCam, yeah, okay. I would not give an ETA, otherwise, it's like my boss will tell me, okay, you. So.
The voice kind of strong. They were full of joke.
Looks like we have a couple minutes left for some questions. If anybody has some left over, or if we haven't answered any that you have burning in you that you need to answer right now.
Okay, I saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bulb. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. What? So we're release of the bulb. Yeah. Yes. So as it's like as most of you know, that's like we have a Wise bulb. Yeah, and then which was in early access for a while, and then it's like we just shipped our early access batch to our customers, and then also we're going to have Wise bulb official online for sale very soon. Yeah.
When will the WiseCams reach full sentience so I can finally have friends? How do you pronounce xnor.ai, and how do we get T-shirts?
Ooh, okay.
You want to answer the sentience question? Or-
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
So probably not anytime soon, to be honest. That's the real answer for sentience. And the company XNOR is pronounced XNOR.
Okay. Here's the XNOR. Yeah.
And it's modeled after the XNOR gate. It's a digital circuit that our technology is based on. And then the question of the T-shirts, not sure.
We have lots of popular requests, and then we need to figure it out. Yeah, and then that's just like we have lots of customers say, okay, I want a Wise T-shirt. Yeah, and then or Wise together with XNOR. Yeah, and then we'll figure it out. Oh, there are people talking about outdoor cam. Yeah, and then okay, so it's okay. I know that's going to come up at some time. Yeah. Okay, so we work on it, and then when we have outdoor cam, and then we will for sure have an AMA.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us.
Wow.
Please feel free to continue to post your questions. We'll try to respond to them as best as possible, and we'll be sure to post them up so you can have the answers as well. You'll see that probably later today from us. If you have any more questions, feel free to let us out. And
we'll be the answer.
we'll be over answering these questions on Facebook as well and in our forums. But thank you for joining us, and we hope you have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Goodbye.
Okay. Bye-bye.